Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Omfa Maisha, and I'm here with another episode from the LevelUp Plug. And as I said, this lately I'm dealing with entrepreneurs. So today we have Mr. Tokelo Mbhele, and this is Scholar Transport. Mr. Tokelo, how are you, sir?
I'm well, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm okay, thanks. Just for my
Thank you for the invite.
Hey,
Come and share my story.
it's a pleasure. It's a
Yeah.
pleasure. I feel honored to be in the presence of someone like you because I read your story. I'm like, hey, this man can give me some tips
Sure.
that I actually need to elevate my life to the next level.
Yeah.
So let's just get into it. Can you just give us a young intro or who is Mr. Tokelo Mbhele and what were you doing? Where did you grow up and how did you become the man you are today?
Okay. Yes. Again, Tokelo Mbhele,
Mm-hmm.
and born and bred in KZN Embo,
Oh, okay.
in Hillcrest.
Mhm.
Had a father and a mother,
Mm-hmm.
two sisters and one brother. One brother comes after me,
Yes.
and then the two sisters. Married
Mm-hmm.
to a wonderful woman, and we are blessed with two girls.
Mm-hmm.
And she has her own two boys,
Mhm.
and one now just completed his LLB,
Mm-hmm.
which is another milestone for her.
True.
Well, for us as a family.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, and I think in a nutshell, that's who I am, an entrepreneur today. Together with my wife, we are running a family business.
Mhm.
It's a successful business, and the funny thing about it is that we were ashamed about this business. We used to hide.
Well,
Yeah, we used to, Scholar Transport. We
yes.
do Scholar Transport, by
Yes,
the way.
yes.
And now we have other
Businesses.
other streams, yeah, but within transport, now
Yes.
we also do shuttle, staff shuttle,
Oh, yes.
using our vehicles, and one is earning a lot. But just a little story about why we were shy.
Yes, I want to know that. I'm curious about
So,
that.
when you think of an entrepreneur,
Yes.
you're thinking of an IT guy, you're thinking of engineering people.
True.
In transport, you think about logistics, buses, you're
Oh,
thinking
yes.
about trucks, and etc. So
True.
all these big names, that's what you think of. Is no. Then so when we used to come or when people would ask, so what business are you doing? You'd be like, no, I'm in transport, and you hope that they don't say, so what type of transport you are in, right?
Yes.
And and for it to be where it is, during COVID,
Mm-hmm.
my mentor, Mr. Beo,
Mm-hmm.
I went to him and I said, "Hey, look, you see, there's no work,
True.
etc., etc." And we sat down. I said, "Please help me open other doors if there are any opportunities that people that that can help."
Mm-hmm.
And so we sat, and he says, "Yeah, no, look, I'll see, and whatnot, and whatnot." And then, as we leave, we were in the restaurant. As we leave, he says to me, "Never look down on what God has put in your hands."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I said, "Oh, okay." He said, God asked Moses and said, "What are you holding?"
Yes, and it's just so a rod.
He said, "I'm holding a staff."
Yes.
Yes. He said, "I'm holding a
The
staff."
staff,
And,
yes.
and God said, "Put it down."
Mm-hmm.
And when he put it down, it turned
That
into a
was
big
just-
snake
Yes.
that scared Moses
Yes, yes.
himself because he didn't know what he was holding in
And
his
that's
hand.
very deep. So
Right?
Yes. Okay, continue.
So when he says this to me, I'm like, oh, but what am I holding in my hand?
Mm-hmm.
It can't be Scholar Transport.
Oh,
I mean,
because you always underestimated it.
and mind you, we started with an Avanza. Actually, we didn't start with an Avanza. We started with a small, our Golf One in Debe.
So you used to just few
My
kids.
wife,
Yeah.
yes, my wife said to me, "Okay, from now on, you're gonna take a lift club to work.
Mm.
I'm gonna take our girls to school."
Mhm.
So I said, "Okay, fine." So then the other parents saw her as a mommy,
Mhm.
and they were like, "Can you take our girls?"
Oh, yes,
And then
plus-
she started taking the girls.
And it's easy to trust.
Yes, she's a woman, right?
Yes.
And then the next thing, she was in this. And by the way, also she did not just start Scholar Transport.
Mhm.
Her friend, whom now we live close by together in Pretoria, Mrs. Taban, she used to encourage her and say, "Hey, I'm making money with
Oh,
this
Scholar
transport,
Transport, yes.
Scholar Transport thing, So you come in,
Yes.
And she would tell me, I'd be like, that Scholar Transport, really? How do you make money?
Yes.
So then she started, and she took the girls, and then the parents were like, "Oh no," Then the next thing, she was doing loads.
Oh,
right?
yes,
Taking
because the
kids to
car is
school, and
small.
the car is small, right?
So, yes.
And then she's like to me, "You need to find a bigger car," and I'm like, "I'll find a bigger car where? I'm working, you're not making money, so how does all this?" But what we had initially done is, because I had a passion for media, which is for billboards, right?
Oh, yes, yes.
So I wanted to have a company, and I registered a company, and we called that company Mabheleni Media.
Mabheleni Media.
Yes, we called it Mabheleni Media. And so, because I thought I've got a gift of being able to see things, and those things, when I say see things, I'm not talking about psychic.
Oh,
I'm
yes,
talking
yes,
about
yes.
my imagination. I
Oh,
will
yes,
imagine
yes.
something, and I'll say to someone, and someone will be like, "Oh, wow, that's." So I thought, okay, so what if we had a billboard? And I did some research, and I realized, oh, there's a lot of money in billboards, right? And so then we said Mabheleni Media. So we set up the whole thing. We had emails. We still run those, and everything. But then when we went deep into this, we found out that there's a lot of regulations around it. So there's a lot of money that you need to have.
So you wanted to open a business based on you creating billboards?
Yes.
Okay.
And having, and then renting space out to companies.
Yeah, I think I know how it works.
Yeah. Right. So I'm able to see spaces. I'm able to see areas where I'm like, if you were to put a billboard here,
yes,
everybody will look at it.
True.
So that was the idea. But then when we did more research, we found that no, it's a bit too difficult to go into it, and I'm working, so I won't have enough time to break through.
True.
So I said to her, okay, well, then we open a bank account. So she started putting money into the bank account, business account of Mabheleni Media.
Oh, yes.
The money she got from the parents.
Oh, yes,
right?
yes.
She did that for a year. And then after a year, she says to me, "Please look for a bigger car." I said, "How are we going to pay for the car?" She said, "I don't know." She said, "Find it." Right?
Yes.
Anyway, I said, who's going to finance the car? She said, the bank said they'll give me 100,000.
Oh, from credit.
From credit.
Yes.
So what we didn't understand then was that the banks look at the money coming in and the money going out. So they looked at this, which at the time she was making 6,000 rand. So that's 60,000 rand revenue.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
So they said to her, "Oh no, we'll give you 100,000. So she comes back and says, "No, they'll give me 100,000. So I'm like, "No, there's no way. There's no money in the bank. So how will they give you money?" Not understanding how credit work and how banks work.
True.
Money in, money out.
Yes.
It means that business is working. I said to her, "Tell them to send me send an email, and they must copy me." Yeah. So in the morning, 10 o'clock, I'm sitting at work. I see an email. "Hi, Mrs. Mbhele. We just like to state that you qualify for 100,000. I'm like, "What?"
Okay. Now I have to go look for the car.
Now I must look for the car.
Yes.
It's a difficult thing for me. Look for the car. How are we going to pay for this car? When? What? And, I'm used to being an employee.
Oh, yes. You're not used to being.
I'm not used to being an entrepreneur or a business person, and understanding that when you are running a business and when you get credit, you are the one who tells them when you will pay.
Oh, okay.
Now, but when you are an employee, your little understanding says no.
They will tell me when to pay.
Yes, which is month end. So where are we going to get the money? And I've seen the pattern of how parents pay.
So I just want to ask them for my information's sake. You're saying that in credit,
yes,
for a business, you get to choose when you want to pay.
You tell them when the money will be available.
Oh, because it's a business. So
it's a business.
So a business account and personal account, they have different credits.
They have not different credit, but the way they are treated, it's different.
Oh, okay.
Because you might have clients who say, "I only pay on the 17th.
Oh, yes. Or I make profits annually.
Yes.
Instead of monthly. I'll pay you after 2 years.
I'll pay you after 2 years. So now, but you have to work on that. Even if, okay, maybe 2 years might be a bit of a problem.
Oh, yes.
Meaning that you might have to have capital up front. So that you can cover those years while waiting for the payment to happen.
True.
But it can never happen that it's 2 years. Normally, the highest you can ever go is 60 days. Yeah, where company says we only pay after 60 days.
Well, it makes sense.
Yeah. So now I must look for the car. But now, how are we going to pay for the car? My wife was adamant, and that is why I chose right. She's like, look for the car. Today, Simon Sinek says, some people look for the thing that they want.
Some people look for see things that distract them to get what they want.
Exactly.
Yeah, I read that.
So I used to look at what would stop us from getting the thing that we want.
And
my wife saw what she wanted, and she said to me, "Go and get it." Right?
The importance of perspective.
the mindset, the shift, the perspective has to change, right? And because I loved it, and I was like, okay, fine. So then an idea came to me that, when I look at my salary, I get paid on the 25th. And mind you, I still had the mindset that says it must be month end that we are able to pay for the car. I didn't know that we could wait.
Oh, yes.
And tell the bank, no, we will pay you on the 5th. I didn't know that. So I said, okay, I looked at the salary. When I realized, okay, there's a 3,000 rands left after debit orders and whatnot. So we will take this money and put it into the business account.
Oh, yes.
So that when the bank wants the money, they can get it. And then when the parents pay.
Oh, so now you get paid from scholar transfer.
Right,
Yes,
right. So then we did that. Then now I must look for the car. So I looked, and then I found a perfect car. This car is an Avanza.
Oh, yes.
From a reputable dealer. We got it. It had 100,000. I'm just sharing now this for 100,000. The Avanza, when we came to Joburg with a washing machine and clothes only. The Avanza bought the house in Green Hills, Randfontein. If you Google where Green Hills is, it's a nice suburb in Randfontein.
The Avanza. Yes.
The Avanza bought 3 more Sprinters.
So, why did you choose to move to Gauteng? Can I
just better opportunities, though it was difficult for me. It was really difficult for me because my wife kept saying to me, let's move to Johannesburg. And I'll be like, to what? Yeah, I've got medical aid here, I've got all these things. So now you want us to move.
You were happy as an employee?
I was happy as an employee.
Yes.
I was not happy, I was happy with the benefits. I was frustrated as a person because I felt like I was dying because there was so much in me that I thought
I could have been doing
waking up every morning, coming and doing the same thing. But at the time, I didn't know who I was, really.
True.
So then my uncle saw that my wife was very business-minded and her wife. And then they said to us, come to Johannesburg. There are opportunities that you are taking kids. There's an opportunity here where we can have a contract for you guys to take school kids from this school. And so that was very enticing. And she then won the battle because every time she says, let's go to Joburg. And I said, to what?
Oh, now there's a reason why.
There's a reason why we should go. It was difficult for me though, because leaving Durban to going to something that you don't know.
True. I feel like leaving your comfort zone is never easy.
It is never easy, especially when you don't have the understanding.
True, and it's a risk, mind you.
And the funny thing is that everything about life is a risk.
True. Even taking first steps as a kid, as a baby,
it's a risk.
You can fall, anything can happen.
But they want to walk.
So you need to go for it.
Right?
Yes. So tell me a story of you coming to Joburg. How was the situation where we staying? I don't want it to just sound like a success story.
Yes. So look, Embo. For those who are watching this, will know where Embo is probably. Embo in Hillcrest. It's a semi-rural area.
Oh, yes.
Right? So you still have your chief. We are still under the chief.
Oh, yes.
We've got tar roads now. We've got water, we've got lights. Right? And my grandfather was a builder, so he built a nice house.
Oh, yes.
Now, though it's falling apart, it's not, we're still working on trying to rebuild. And then, so that's where I was brought up. Both my parents are no more. My mom left when I was 21. My dad left after I got married. I think 2012. I got married in 2009, but he passed away in 2012. So we were sort of like you get paid, and the money goes to petrol. The money goes to groceries. And at that time, our little ones were very young. So the firstborn was still going to a preschool.
True.
And it was now looking at where I am. Like, it was tough, right? And so coming to Johannesburg was more of a breather on my wife's side. But for me, I was like, you're getting me. And then at the end of the year, you get a bonus, a 13th check. So then you are able to buy some clothing, and then you have Christmas, and then the cycle continues again. It was killing me, but I didn't know what it is that I could do.
True.
Right, and so then we left and we came here, and this was 2016. My wife came here first. Very challenging. Very challenging. They say in business world. They said to me, you have paid your school fees. And I'll explain what that means.
Okay.
2016, my wife comes and she starts working. We were promised that she will work as an administrator for the school, for the preschool, and she will also take kids.
Oh, after school.
Yes, after school she take kids. So in the morning she'll collect kids, bring them to the same school. After school, after she finished work, she'll take the very same kids, take them back home.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So it was strenuous for her because they came to Johannesburg in March, and then I had to put in my notice for 3 months.
Yes.
So I would follow them in June, and so she did that work. And where we rented, because the vehicle had a sticker of Scholar Transport, the owner says, "Can you please help my mother? She has a preschool. We've got kids waiting."
Oh, yes.
It was in March and schools were going to be opening in April. Can you please take, Then we found ourselves because now I was thinking to myself, the project we were supposed to start has not started. My wife, yes, is doing admin, but the money she's making is only enough for her to pay for the rent.
True.
Now the vehicle has to be paid for. You need insurance, you need installment that needs to be paid.
True.
Now in Durban, it was paying itself because it was working.
Yes.
Right? And we were not paying rent then.
Yes.
It's a home. Suddenly, then God makes a plan, and then the owner's like, "Please," she's begging us, please. So okay, fine. And then we went there. We found that the number of kids we're going to enable us to pay the installment of the car. And the beautiful thing about our business is that parents pay up front, right? So immediately when we started, parents had already paid, so we could actually now pay for the car and the insurance.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
While she was waiting for the other project of kids, and which didn't happen until I think when she started in March, and I came in June. We still had only those kids.
The preschool kids.
Yeah, the preschool kids from the landlord's mother.
Yes.
And we worked with those, and it was okay. It was manageable. We were able to manage to pay for the rent, pay for the car, etc., and put fuel in the vehicle. And then prior to me coming, my wife then at the petrol station, she meets this petrol attendant. The guy says, "Oh, you take kids?" And she says, "Yeah." And he says to her, "There's a lady who's selling her business, a white lady that's selling her business.
Oh, yes.
Would you be interested?" And my wife was like, "Yeah, no, get me her number." So the guy gives my wife the number.
What type of business was it?
A Scholar Transport.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, she's selling 2 Sprinter buses that comes with kids.
Oh, so it comes with contract.
It comes with contracts.
Okay.
Right? So she calls me excited. Love, we found. I'm like, okay, that's good. So when I take my pension, I'll come down and then buy the vehicles, right? So we meet with those guys. It's white people. Now, here's another thing that I want to highlight is that we as a people, we are naive, right? Now, coming from Durban, you look at white people different from our own people.
Okay.
You look at white people and you trust them.
True. You'll be like, that's a scam.
It's a mentality that.
It's true.
You know what I mean, right? And when I have to deal with you, you say you're selling me the business. I'm like, why are you selling the business? Why are you selling the business?
True.
Again, I want to highlight this because it's a mentality problem that we have to deal with as people. And it's not white people. It's us.
It's
you.
us. It's
you
us.
as a person who needs to learn and deal. So white people, no, these people I know. But then something within me, the divine within me, God within me is like, ask them to give you. So I said to them, do you trust your vehicles? And they're like, yeah, our vehicles. You'll never have a breakdown. Okay. So then I'm like, okay, so how much do you want? To say we want 250,000
for
both vehicles. We looked at the books, making about 45,000 rand a month. I was not even earning that.
Right. My question is, if they're selling those 2 vehicles and the contract for 250,000, while they're making
so much money,
why would you sell it? Because in 2 months or 6 months, you make that money.
It was a question, but why are you selling? Why are you selling? No, we want to leave here. Now we're moving to Van der Bay. Oh, okay, so it's a move, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, settle. Because I was like, this is a lot of money. Why would you stop this thing? Now we're looking at the money, no, God is good. We moved and now this is happening.
True.
Now this other project has not yet developed of taking the kids from that other preschool that initially brought us to Johannesburg, right? So here's this thing now. And I'm like, okay, when I get my pension, we're buying. So we made a deal. And then I said to them, okay, no breakdowns. They said, no breakdowns. And now we didn't know who are these people and why are they moving, right? And a lot of people knew why they are leaving.
Okay.
They are actually leaving the area because they are not good people.
Oh, they're not
So they are
reliable.
actually running away from this area. They are actually running away. So we didn't know this, right? Because we didn't know, we were new in the area, and also we didn't ask. Again, there's a problem. Whenever you want to buy any business or you wanna get yourself into a deal, do more research about the company, do more research about the person that you are dealing with.
True.
Right? Don't just go into a deal because it looks good.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So we learned, these are all the lessons that we learned now you can't just come to me and say, hey, my business is doing 2 million rand. Oh, okay. So now I need to, we are at the level where we take things to a legal department.
Oh, yes.
We've got a legal department. Now we say, okay, give me all the details. We've got accountants who are going to look at the things, right? And we take our things and say, no, it's fine. We hear what you're saying. It looks good, but we've got other people, experts, who can look at this and tell us whether this is a good deal or not.
True, because sometimes it might look good to the eye.
It might look good to the eye.
But behind the picture, it's not actually good.
And the other thing is that when you are a small business owner, we have the tendency of taking care of the stomach before thinking.
True, because I think it was just a matter of when you moved to Gauteng, you were looking for that one opportunity.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, here comes this opportunity.
But within me, there was a thing that says, but something is not right.
Something is not right.
So I said to them, okay, give me a warranty on the mechanical.
Oh, Uri.
That I knew. Yes, that I knew.
For how long?
I said, give us. Well, I mean, a second-hand car, 6 months is okay.
Oh, yes.
Give us 6 months mechanical warranty. They said, no, we'll give it to you. Then I said, then we need to do this thing through a lawyer. They said, okay. Then they called and said, no, let's do this thing through an affidavit. Now, I come from KZN, and I remember that many people were scammed by buying houses or plots with an affidavit.
Oh, yeah.
You can't buy, when you buy a house, it must go through a lawyer.
True.
So I said, no. He says, yeah, but the lawyer's expensive. I said, then we are out of the deal. But I was desperate. I said these things, but I was desperate.
Yes.
But I was just looking for that one thing that will protect, my family and the money that I've worked for 12 years. And now, I'm going to put this money and invest it in. Yeah.
True.
Right. And he said, no. I said, then the deal is off. Then he said, I know. Then it's fine. Then he said that. He said, it's fine. Then I said, that's fine. So I said to my wife, okay, we're not doing this one. Right. And then I called my police friend. I said, we're doing this business deal. We're buying vehicles. And now this guy wants us to do an affidavit. He says, don't go through the lawyers. It's business.
True.
The next morning they called and they said to us, okay, fine. We've got our lawyers. You can come.
Why did they come with the lawyers? Why didn't you choose to?
They all have to pay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
yes.
I made them to pay.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I said, I'm not paying. You want the business, you want to sell the business, find your own people.
And I'm already giving you money.
I'm giving you money that you so desperately want.
Yes.
Right? So get the lawyers. So they got the lawyers. The contract was not to our satisfactory because they had a word in there that says footstood. Footstood means when you buy something, you take as is.
So even if a car breaks down.
Now, the contract says we're giving you 6 months warranty on the mechanical, but you are buying the vehicle footstood. That's a contradiction.
Oh, so then
I asked the lawyer, I said, why is it footstood? And he says to me, no. If the window breaks and whatnot. And I still felt that, no, man, I know what footstood means. Footstood means take as is, no return.
Oh, yes.
You can't come back. So when you'll hear a lot of that when you go to auctions.
True.
At the auction, they'll tell you footstood.
So you
on risk.
Yes.
Whatever happens when you leave here.
Yes. You
see, so then footstood, okay, but then everything else I thought, I know, we can argue this thing at the court if anything goes wrong.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so we signed the contract, we paid them, and we agreed on how much we'll pay, and then we said the rest will pay in installments.
Oh, yes.
Right, so that was fine. We agreed on that, and the deal went through. And guess what? 1 week time after we took over the business, breakdowns.
When you were trying to contact the people,
we called them and he said, well, we've got mechanical warranty, so you come and fix. But now remember, during that time as well, now you are supposed to hire a vehicle.
Oh, yes, because you have contracts with
I've got contracts with parents that I'm taking the kids. Now there's a breakdown, then these kids must get to school and must come back to school.
True.
So now I had to, out of my pocket, one of the lessons I learned then to say, no, when you have a contract like this, You should say, when there's a breakdown, you take care of the breakdown and the car hire. Because you said to me, there will never be a breakdown.
Oh, yes.
They vowed and said, never, our vehicles, never.
And to think about it, in such a business, a breakdown, it stops the business.
The breakdown stops the business.
And you are no longer liable, because the minute you'll be like, hey, I can't take the kids to school today, the school has to find someone to replace you.
The parents have to find, because remember, we are in the private one, so we deal with parents.
Oh, okay.
The parents want the kids to school. The parents want the kids back home.
True.
They've paid you. So you cannot have an excuse, right? So a lot of lesson they learned. And long story short, we took each other to court. It was... these people were dishonest, only to find when we start going to court, the drivers themselves, they say, hey, we wish we had met you before you bought these vehicles.
Oh, yes.
Because these people are troublemakers. They said these people are troublemakers, so we wish we met you before. But what is the takeaway from this? The takeaway from this is that we were left with a business. So even when the vehicles were not there, they came and hijacked the vehicles, took them, because now we start calling them a lot to come and fix. They said, no, let's have a meeting. So we went to a meeting, and the meeting was like, no, bring us back our vehicles, and we will
pay back.
We'll pay you back your money, but we will pay it back in tranches. And I said, no, we gave you a sum of money, and you need to give us back the whole amount.
Yes.
You need to give us back the whole amount, then we give you back your vehicles. And the guy said to me, oh, you want blood? You want blood now? You say you want blood? I said, well, whichever way you look at it, we've got a contract. I paid you X amount. Give me back the whole amount, and I'll give you back your vehicles.
Yes.
I cannot trust now that you said you will take care of the mechanical problem,
and you didn't.
And you now want to back out of that. So how do I know that if I give you the vehicles, now you'll pay me my money back? And already I had heard that those people are bad.
Oh, now you know what you're doing.
Now I knew what I was dealing with, and I was like, no. So guess what? They came and hijacked the vehicles from the drivers. We went to court. The court said they must bring back their cars, and then they brought back shells. No engine, no gearbox, nothing, no prop shaft, nothing, and they dropped it. They left it in front of the house where I used to rent.
But is it not a crime?
It's a crime, but you see, the justice system, it depends who has money. So when you have money, yes, you can push and push and push. But when you are short of money, then you go to court. They don't come to court. Then the court postponed, and then you go again, and then they don't come. Eventually, you're like, you know what?
And your money, the more they postpone it, the more your money.
My brother, you will spend more money in our country. You'll spend more money trying to get money. You'll find that it's actually better to let it go.
Oh, yes.
Than to go ahead and fight someone and fight you to say, no, I'm going to take this. It's not a good exercise.
Yes.
You'll find you spend more money than even when you win the case. You find that what is worth coming back does not amount to how much money you spend.
Even the person no longer have that money.
Even the person doesn't have that money anymore.
Yes.
And the law says they must only pay you what they can afford.
Yes. Oh,
but now you've spent you spend R1 million.
And you could have invested back into the business.
You could have dealt with life and say, well, you know what, this has happened. It is my fault because we did not take precautionary actions.
Yes.
To do a research as to who is selling us the vehicle. Whom have you worked with? Do your research and find out who are these people that we are buying from. Why are they leaving? They say no, but you become naive. So I know white people. No.
Yeah,
So now one is matured, and you know that a white person is the same as the black person.
Yes, you can get dropped both sides of the coin.
You can be, especially when you're doing business, right? So the best thing is don't invest your emotion into it. If we're doing business, let's deal with the facts. Okay, where's the legal papers? And pay people who can look at this thing and say it's a deal or not.
True, and I think if you guys have paid a lawyer, not for just to review the contract,
100%,
it was gonna make this whole situation be better.
If we had actually thought of getting a lawyer on our side who's going to ask us question why you want to buy.
Oh yes.
But again, the mindset.
True.
A poverty mindset says you don't spend money on something that you don't know whether it will bring you a return or not. Poverty mindset, right? You hear me now talking about we've got legal department.
Yes.
You might think legal department, scholar transport, but FNB, you bank with FNB, they have a thing called law on call.
Mm-hmm.
We're paying $600,
Mm.
and it gives you 800,000 rand for a year.
Mm.
So you can go to any lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got a matter, you can go to any lawyer. There's 800,000 rand waiting for the business.
Oh, so
Right.
you can go to any lawyer. That
So
FNB
FNB will pay.
Oh, that's very good.
Right. So we're paying $700 a
Mhm.
month, right? So that's our legal department.
True,
So
true.
now anything comes, let's contact legal and find out.
Before anything else. Mhm.
We've got accountants,
Mhm.
right? We deal with them. And this is the funny thing. I was looking at one of these Jewish guy, rabbi,
Yes,
and he
yes,
says that you must have 5 relationships, right?
Mhm.
You must have a lawyer
Mhm.
lawyer that is a friend to you, not a lawyer that's going to make money out of you.
Oh, yes.
A banker.
Mhm.
The millionaires, they don't go into the bank and look for credit and all these things.
Mm.
They've got a banker
As a friend.
relationship, right?
Yes, yes.
What else? Accountant.
Mhm.
Don't get an accountant that takes money from you.
Mhm.
Get an accountant that helps you structure your business such that you pay less tax legally. So,
Yes, yes.
right? What else? I think it's the lawyer, the banker, the accountant.
Mm.
I forget these other two, and I'm thinking to myself, these are the things, and these things are available,
Mhm.
right? But it takes effort for you to do the research and also know what it is that you want.
True.
We must not dwell on a lot of things.
Yes,
We need to
let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Okay, now that you dealt with the case,
Yeah.
the people brought back the shells,
Yeah.
but you were renting transport to
take it
to take the kids to school. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I feel like that's like a downfall of a business, I would
Oh,
say.
yeah.
Yes. So how did you actually recover and come back up? Because
I wanted to quit.
yes.
I wanted to quit. My wife was strong enough.
Mm-hmm.
My wife became my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
One morning.
Yes.
At night, she said to me, there's a guy that we knew, not very much, but we knew. He says, call that guy and find out if we can. Because now the problem with renting vehicles, you are renting from the taxi guys.
Mm-hmm.
And they are not reliable because the next thing they have taken a special trip to the Eastern Cape. The car is not available in the morning.
Oh, yes.
And then he doesn't tell you.
Now
you
have
call
to
him in the morning, he says, oh, I mean, it's Eastern Cape. How? But why didn't you tell me?
Yes, when there's still time.
When there's still time.
Mhm.
So this one morning, no, the night before, this one told us that he's not coming back. Now what is like, call the other guy and find out who can help us. So I called the guy and he says, no, just go to a taxi rank. You'll find someone that will help you. So I was like, this is not helpful. That morning, my wife is like, go to the taxi. Let's go to the taxi. Go to the taxi rank. And I was like, "Ish, love, that's it. I'm switching off my phones today because I don't want parents calling me when they call. They find the phone is off. The driver is calling me. It's 4 a.m. He's calling. He says, what are we doing? What are we gonna do? And I'm like, I don't know. She did a very remarkable thing. My wife, she jumped out of bed.
Went to the taxi rank.
No, listen to this.
Let me see.
She jumped out of bed. She took her robe, her gown, and she tightened it. And I remembered what my grandmother did to me when she was asking me to help carry the table. She's going to sell oranges and apples in town. And I came up with the story that the table was heavy. And then she screamed and yelled to another lady who's next door, and she said, Malabakai, Malabakai. The other lady says, Me arikokwa. And then when the lady comes out, she thought maybe something is wrong. And my grandma says, help me take this table and put it on my head. And there's a thing called Charlie. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, I know it.
My grandmother, she had the Charlie or the blanket around her waist.
Yes.
And then she opened it. And then she did this. She tightened her belly and she tucked it in.
Yes.
And then Malabakai came, they held the table together and she put it on their head. The lesson I learned there, now coming back to what, is that never ever think in your life that anyone else can never succeed if you become an obstacle. I thought to my grandmother, I was young at the time, and I thought to myself, and now we are in Lesotho, and I thought to myself, I'm not going to go to town and sell apples and oranges. At school, I tell kids that we got TV at home, we got We've got all these nice things. Now I'm going to be seen selling oranges.
Yes.
No, I'm not going there.
Yes, yes.
So I need to come up with a way as to how I'm not going to go.
Oh, so it was not actually heavy.
No, it was an embarrassment.
Oh, yes,
I'm not going
Your
there.
reputation.
No, I must find a way of not going there. So, and I was, and when my grandmother did this, I stood there defeated. But I had a lesson, which is an asset that I carried for the rest of my life. Never, ever think that someone who asks you for help will never succeed without you.
Oh, yes.
Never. Right? If you can't help, just tell them if you can't help. But don't think that
you not helping, it stops their path. No, they will make it.
Right?
True.
So I had that. So now coming back to my part.
Yeah, your wife, yeah.
Right. My wife, she and then I thought to myself, this woman will think I'm weak. I'm not going to allow this to happen.
Yes.
Deja vu. I've heard people saying, hey, I did this thing because I saw my wife doing it and I realized that if I don't follow suit, this woman is going to take me for granted.
True.
Jumped out of bed and she said, I'm going. I said, okay, let's go. We got into the car, we drove off to the taxi rank. We get there in the morning where the taxis are parked. There's no one. It's empty. So I'm like, okay, it's empty, love. There's no one. And you could hear his spirit dampening. Yes, like, I've taken a decision and now it's not working. When we were about to drive out, then a quantum comes. And then I said to her, here's a quantum. Now I'm taking the lead now. I'm like, here's the quantum.
Yes.
Jumped out of the car, went to the car, said, I'll give you X amount. Can you help me with the kids? And he's like, yeah, I'll help you.
Yes. Because for them, it's guaranteed money.
It's guaranteed money. At the taxi rank, they're not going to get that money I was telling that I was going to give him. Right? He said, no, we'll help you. I called the driver. I said, come meet this guy. Go. Problem solved. And again, I thought to myself, yeah, no, I got the right one.
Yes. But
no.
I believe, okay, that was a temporary solution.
That was a temporary solution
for the business.
For the business,
I think,
and you wanted to know how. So then, 2016. Everything is happening within 6 months.
Yes.
We've lost the money. We've lost the vehicles. We are renting, and I'm thinking, I'm going back to Durban. Now we don't even have money to go back home. No money for petrol, no money for toll gates. Where she's working as an admin, they say, can we use your vehicle? We want to take stuff to Elmerald in Taranachel.
Yes.
So then we charge them and we put everything in the tank. Avanzas are very light. From Western area to this place, it's I don't know how many kilometers, but we went there and came back. And it was still full.
Oh, yes.
Yes, right. Then we said, okay, so we've got petrol to go home, but we still don't have toll gates. And it was about $200 at the time when you go to Durban. And then I borrowed from one guy who I used to share with, saying things are difficult. He said, I'll give me the 200 rands, I'll pay you when Discovery pays me back my savings on the medical aid. So he says, okay, fine, he gave it to me. We went home. Now, on my way, I took a decision that I'm not coming back to Johannesburg.
Okay.
It's not going to happen. Here, my boss is calling me. She was a wonderful lady. She's calling and saying, TK, Talks, if you want to, they used to call me Talks. Talks, if you want to come back, your job is here, come and whatnot. I was like, okay. So I said to the wife, hey, they're calling me. And my wife was like, no, we're going back. And I'm like, going back to what? We lost everything. Going back to what? And she said, she kept saying to me, let's go back. And I'm like, to what? With what?
Oh, yes.
There's no petrol money. There's how, Christmas was taken care of by my little sister from Cape Town. She came home. So we had Christmas then. But then after that, it's like, so how are we going to do this?
Yeah, what's the point of doing it?
What's the point of going back? You know what I mean? And then she comes back and she says, we've got 20,000 e-bucks. I said, yeah? She said, yeah, we've got 20,000 e-bucks. I said, what is that? She said, that's 2,000 rand. Filling up Avanza, it's $600.
Oh, yes.
E-bucks, they used to, at the time, I don't know now, you would put petrol at the engine and you could buy groceries at Checkers.
True.
So now we had money for petrol, and when we get to Joburg, we can do groceries. And at that time, 1,400 could buy a lot of food.
It was a lot.
It could buy a lot of food at that time, right? So then we said then I was like, hey, I'm defeated again. Now it means I must go back to Johannesburg.
But my quick question there. Last time I checked, you bought the Avanza on loan.
Yes.
which you were paying.
Yes.
So at that time, were you still paying?
We were still paying. We were still able to pay because parents were up. They pay up to December.
Oh, yes.
So we were still able to pay.
So it wasn't one of your stresses.
No, that was less. That was
Oh.
we were still managing.
Okay, let's continue. Now you have okay, let's continue. Now you have you're coming back to Gauteng.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's continue.
Yeah. We come back to Gauteng, 2017, and I'm not sure what we coming back to.
True.
Really, I'm like,
we shall see.
Anyway, the wife says we must come back. It's fine, so let's come back. And also during that time, our relationship is tested, and I had to become a better person and a bigger person because I understood something said within me that your wife is suffocating. So, your wife is suffocating because she said you must leave your job, come to Johannesburg, and things will do, and you guys will do well. And things are not happening.
Yeah, I feel like she blames herself, man.
Thank you. So then I started a conversation. I'm like, listen, with everything that has happened, I want you to know that I'm still with you, and that we were gonna make it.
Sure.
She cried. She cried and said to me, I've been suffocating, thinking to myself, I've made a mistake. And maybe you just don't want to say that I've made a mistake because you love me and I'm your wife. But I've been suffocating, looking at how things are going, and it's me. And I said, no. And then again, the relationship was strengthened there, right?
I think those serious talks, they are necessary.
Very important. Very important. We had a same chat yesterday, but anyway, to continue with what you were saying, 2017, we come back, my mother-in-law retires, and then she loans us money and she says, okay, guys, here's the loan, buy a vehicle and we pay her back. So we had to pay her back. And so now we had one vehicle.
Yes.
So we were renting one, right? We still have the work, the kids, right? So we continued with that. And I think mid 2017, we had already met with the banker who advised that. He said to us, guys, you're running a business and I can see money is coming in. Remember now, the same thing that happened in Devon, she's putting money in the account. When parents are paying, we put money into the business account and the money is going in and out, in and out. The guy says, guys, you're making money. I can see you making money. Register yourself with SARS, register yourself with UIF, comply. When you do that, the bank will give you money, will give you credit, and you can buy assets cash. When you buy an asset cash, which is vehicles in our case, then if anything goes wrong, nobody can come for those assets because you have paid for them cash with loans, right? And so if you cannot service the loan anymore, they won't take the vehicle, but they will ask you to pay because it's unsecured loan. They'll ask you to pay, make arrangement and make the payment so that you can pay off the loan. But you will still have the assets that will continue to generate and income.
So the business can still continue.
So the business can still, no matter what happens, right? We said, oh, okay, so we complied. And that compliance helped us so much that during COVID, when everybody was crying, and the government had said that those who are registered, they must submit everything that for their employees and we will pay them. And guess what? We were the only scholar transport because we had been compliant with UIF. We were paying pay as you earn every month. We were paying ourselves salaries and pay as you earn used to go to SARS. They paid us during that time when we were sitting on home. Your government, the Department of Labor was paying us 4,000 rand each, my wife and myself, because we complied.
True.
One of the things that I am passionate about to say, no matter what business you are doing, comply.
Do the right things.
Do the right things. We had a permit for the Avanza. Guess what? The relief fund came for taxis. They now included scholar transport. We received 7,200 rand. Why? Because we applied for the permit when we were asked to apply, and we received money. Compliance, and people say, how is it going to help?
Yes, why should I minus my mind?
You don't know. You don't know, right? Long story short, 2017, my mother-in-law bought a vehicle. Mid-2017, we got credit now from the bank. We took loans. We bought another bus. 2018, we bought a home. 2019, we bought another bus. COVID happened. Everything stopped.
But as much as COVID happened, at least you did things the right way. To a point that you can't lose the business.
And I would encourage everyone who's running a business, my brother, even if you're selling oranges, how do you think people who've got fruits and veg today, they started?
True.
Some of them started at the back of the van, going around and selling oranges and all these things. But because they formalized their business and they had the imagination that one day I'm going to have a store where I will no longer be driving to people and people will be coming to my store to buy fruits and vegetables that are fresh.
I would say it's important to never underestimate your business.
Never underestimate yourself. I'm on the journey right now of finding out who I am. Find out who you are first. I think with everything in life, work on you first. Relationships, how will you know if the person is the right person for you?
So you don't even know who you are. True.
Right?
True, yes.
So let's work on who we are first. So now I'm doing that now. One of the things I found out in this journey is that I didn't love myself. Now, if you as a person don't love yourself and you're running a business, do you think that business, because remember, the business is only taking what you are reflecting as a person. So if you don't love yourself, you are projecting not loving yourself to the business.
Yes.
And guess what happens then? There are things that you will wonder why they don't happen. You just don't love yourself and the business is just attracting that and giving out the same thing.
I hear you.
So very important. Very important. Work on yourself.
Yes.
And when I found out I don't love myself, I started having things on my phones. Affirmations on my phones.
Oh, yes.
So I have an alarm, and one of the alarm is at 6 o'clock when I wake up. So 6 o'clock when I wake up, the affirmation says, I love myself first and then the next person. So I love myself first, even before my kids, before my wife.
It starts with you.
Because if I can't fill the cup, how am I supposed to give them?
Yes, because you must fill your cup first before you pour to someone else.
But we are not taught that. What are we taught? Love the other person first. And then you last. It's wrong.
It's wrong. You should start with yourself.
You start with yourself. You understand who you are. You understand your emotions. Then everything else, it comes to you and fits into who you are.
Makes sense. I wanted to ask this, since you're into the scholar transport business now. Recently, we had a tragedy in Sidibeng. And from your point of view, plus you're into this business, what do you think caused that, and how can other scholar transport improve to prevent things like that?
Yeah, look, I don't want to go into what I think caused it.
Okay.
An accident is an accident.
True.
And I think I'm also very much involved because I serve in the province of Gauteng Education Transport Services.
Yes.
And there are relevant departments that are dealing with that matter.
True.
And how, so you don't want, it's a very sensitive matter.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so however, what I can say is that, again, it goes back to who are you and how serious do you think the business you are running is important. So if you know that and you believe, like how we were shy. I mean, I remember when we were doing this entrepreneurship program with LevelUp, and I shared with people, I said, today we are running a very successful scholar transport business. But we used to be afraid to say that we are running a scholar. And some of the guys were like, hey, I'm also afraid. When people ask me, what do you do? I'm like, I know I do transport. So there's the problem. You don't take serious what you are doing.
True.
You don't know what you're holding in your hand. If you knew what you're holding in your hand,
you'll also be shocked.
You'll also be shocked, but also you will take care of the thing that you're holding in your hand. But when you don't know, then you will act anyhow.
True.
So I would say to everybody, whatever it is that you're holding in your hand, if what you are holding in your hand is selling peanuts, have an imagination of seeing yourself selling different types of peanuts, sourcing them from importing peanuts from Brazil, importing peanuts from wherever, from Mozambique, cashew nuts. See yourself becoming a store, right? Or a distributor that brings these things, and all these other companies, they come in. So there's so much wealth out there, but it has to start with you.
True.
When you sell peanuts, do you see a peanut seller that is on the street, or do you see somebody who can own stores?
True.
There's a man that was asked, when did you first realize that you were a millionaire? He said, when I was sleeping on the benches in the park as a hobo. I held the imagination that I am a multimillionaire. It's difficult to grasp, right?
True.
But that's where it starts.
Yeah, but it's true, because everything starts internally.
It has to. Your mindset has to be right.
I think
there's so much that we can share. I mean,
True.
Running out of time.
True.
There's so much we can share. I wish we can have more people so that we can engage, because I really want to see Black people in particular. I'm not choosing, but I think our people have so much to offer and they don't know. And it's not education. By the way, I only have a trick. That's the only, and I didn't like school. I don't like school. Right?
Yes.
I don't. I need to be honest with that.
True.
But I know the gift that I have, and the gift that I have, the talent that I have, and the skills and the assets that I have, which do not need school, and the wisdom that God has given me. That alone makes me a multi-billionaire.
Yes, very your gift will make room for you.
Oh yeah. In the rooms that where you are not, your name will be talked about.
Yes. Okay, I want to, before we close, can you just tell the people out there how can they find you if let's say they're interested in working with you?
Yes. Maybe also I can just mention this. Some of the books, right? Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
I once read that.
Yes, please read that. If you can't read it, there is an audio version that is free on YouTube. Listen to that. The biography of Napoleon Hill. Listen to that. How to Talk to People. The Psychology of Money. The Richest Man in Babylon. I can go on and on with these books. But also watch your input. Before I close, and I want to go back to your question.
Sure.
Watch your input, because whatever you put in is what you're going to get out. Now, one of the things, 2026, a beautiful year, is that I'm developing programs that speak to unleashing your potential as a person, not your education, but your potential. By the way, the word education comes from the word eduko.
Okay.
From the Greeks, eduko. Eduko means to pull out
what's inside you.
What is inside you?
So if I'm good at music, you're pulling out music.
You need to find somebody who pulls it out of you.
True.
So you need to find somebody who can take the instrument and align it with what's in you.
I hear you.
But education that we know is they feed you. No, they put stuff in you, and you must spew that on the exam day.
True. It's a matter of who can cram best.
It's the matter of who can cram best.
Yes, it's no longer about what do you have within you.
Go to www.mabhelenigroup.co.za. You'll find us there. www.mabhelenigroup.co.za. I think you'll find everything there.
Okay, just for my viewers out there, who are the people you're expecting in the programs that you are opening up? Does it have age group?
Well, of course, the desire is to grab them as early as possible. So in the school where my kids go, I'm also involved in there. Because what we are saying about that school is that our kids are not going to be going through the exams until they get to grade 11. No exams.
Okay.
No exams, right? Go and Google how Japan's schooling system works. They don't teach kids up until grade 4, I think, anything except life skills and how to take care of themselves, like manners. Right? We want to do the same. The school thing is, today you look at a child that goes to grade 3, the books that they carry.
The bag is even heavy when they are young.
How? I cannot, right? True. But because all these things must be put in, it must be put in, right? So the school that I go to, we're not doing that. But because for you to get your matric, you have to do exams.
True.
So from grade level, they are prepared then for them to get a matric. The kids are happy. My kids don't want to come back home.
So
my kids want to stay at school, which is something that I'd never. My kids used to hate school. They love this one.
I think this will go long and long and
right.
Long.
So just a nutshell. So they go to the school, and I'm involved in the school.
Sorry.
And so we're now teaching them skills. We're now going to teach them to open businesses. We're going to register companies for them. Right. At home, I went through a budgeting course, all those things, but that is done by someone else. There's nothing more liberating than knowing where your rent is going. If you were to ask someone randomly as to where does each rent goes in your money,
hey,
nobody knows.
That's a very difficult question.
Okay,
True.
so we need all of those skills, and I've got all those skills, right? So from young, I'm involved at school from the young age and until adulthood. There's a one lady and some of the guys that I've started the sessions with, right? So we're gonna at the moment I have not monetized it. I'm still doing it for free, but the programs that I'm gonna do, which I'm gonna develop. Currently, I'm just doing stuff that I'm talking about, like how we are talking.
Yes.
And people are seeing the results already. There's a white guy at gym we met. He says, business is quiet and blah, 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 blah. So I told him what to do. Guess what? A day later, he comes, he says, TK, I don't know. What is it that you have done? The old client that has disappeared has come back and is giving me a lot of work. There are simple things that we follow. There is no such thing as luck in life. There is such thing only called the law. If I do this, what's going to happen?
Gravity, hold on.
It's the law.
True.
It's not luck, right? So anything that you get in your life, you have invited.
Law of attraction.
Anything that you don't want, you can change it. Okay. So what am I saying in a nutshell? Do your best. Right? Do your best. Work on yourself.
I think let's close it there. Yeah, this was
Thank you very much.
This was very powerful. I can lie.
Thank you very much.
I learned a lot personally, and I'm really interested in being part of the program. Like
100%.
Because we, as much as I went to school, varsity, I never learned money. And mind you, you are supposed to be a father of the household one day, and you never learn how to actually use your money, expand your money, and grow your money. And other cultures, you'll find them, they're teaching them when they're still young. That's why other cultures guys to make it, and we don't make it. But hey, let me close it. That's it from me from the LevelUp Plug. Sarah Plug at you. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
This is great.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.